Okay. All right. I think I'm all set up correctly. Audio's looking okay. Hopefully my video's looking okay. I think I got everything I need. What's going on? Is it communies? Communi? I think it's communies. Okay. Get everything. But there's no T. Communies. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. It looks like we have one person watching at the moment. Where's the best place for me to have my chat box? That's the question. I wish it was a little bit higher, but it's not. Stream settings, analytics look good. Health looks good. I always live stream on Wi-Fi when I probably shouldn't, but maybe I'll just give it a couple more minutes for more people to come in, because I do kind of have a little bit of structure for my first weekly live stream. I'm going to try to do topics, so it's not just me blabbing for an hour about random stuff and nothing. So today I have 3 topics and a possible, and it should be fun. I think most weeks it'll just be talking about which episode I've reacted to that week, and if I have news or like new things coming. So we'll see. I know a few people did say they were going to hop on, but I don't think they are. See if my Twitter post posted. Just check my profile real fast. It did post. Okay. And for this week, communities, I just am glad that you are watching. Basically, since you're the expert on community, whenever you are able to join and I'm talking about the episode, I'm sure you'll have a lot of insight into what went on in the episode and probably behind the scenes stuff and things like that. Hey, Kira. My day is going well, and I'm loving community. I'm glad you're here. So we got 2 people on, 2 community people. So, I guess I could probably get started. I wasn't expecting to have 1,000 people here, but my topics for today, we're going to be talking about community, obviously. And hey, Chris, what's going on? And the episode that I watched it last week, but it posted to YouTube this Monday, was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So I know a lot of people will have a lot of opinions on this episode, and I would love to talk about it as adults with anyone, people not attacking one another, just talk about it in general. I have some thoughts, I'm sure everyone else does as well. Then secondly, I wanted to talk a little bit about Secret Invasion. The finale was this week. That's also up on YouTube. And then third, I wanted to talk about a couple of the potential new shows that I will be watching and potentially reacting to. And then I have one kind of surprise thing that I want to do, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do it. But anyway, who else do we have? Okay, Shira, welcome. And a white woman hat. Funny enough, Blazing Saddles probably could be added to my first time watching list. I don't think I've watched that. And I've seen a lot of Mel Brooks movies. So it's 6:05. I guess I'll just jump right into community. So basically, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, when I first started reacting to community, everyone pretty much told me Season 2, Episode 14, you're not going to find on Netflix. You're not going to find on streaming. You're going to either have to buy it or find it elsewhere. It was banned, controversial, etc. So I watched it last week, and I won't say that I was offended by it, because I don't think I was the target audience to even be offended. So if someone watched and they were offended, there are legitimate reasons for them to be. Okay. So, Karina, thank you for the super chat. Thank you very much. That's my first super chat ever. First one. Chris B said I have that periodic t-shirt too. Mine doesn't have all the heroes. Oh, it has the villains too on the bottom. Dormammu is my favorite. So, the question is, what parts of the show, I guess, could potentially be problematic? And this I just want to talk about first before we just go into the episode. And why was it banned? So the first one, I'll just get it out of the way because it's the first thing that we see. Hey, Jay, is the, I'll call it blackface. Now, I understand, and I am obviously not a black man. I'm not part of the black community, but I do understand the technical meaning of blackface is if someone paints themselves in order to mockingly portray a black person. That I understand. And in the context of the episode, Senior Chang did paint himself black, but he was not portraying himself as a black man. He was portraying himself as a dark elf. So on the baseline, just thinking about it simplistically, is that blackface? It is not blackface. And again, I'm just going by technicalities. I'm not saying that someone couldn't or shouldn't or isn't offended by this. I'm just talking what I saw. The only problem that I had with it, because it's not something that I would be allowed to be offended by, is there are other ways you can go about being a dark elf. And I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, but when I was watching, I'm just telling you what I was thinking when I watched it. Senior Chang could have painted himself dark green. He would have been a dark elf. Senior Chang could have painted himself dark gray to be a dark elf, dark red to be a dark elf. So there were a lot of color choices that he could have chose, but they specifically chose black. And I feel like the reason they did that is simply so they could tiptoe the line of that being controversial, because there were two jokes thrown in during the episode alluding to Chang being in blackface. So you couldn't make those jokes if he was dark green. And one was obviously when Shirley said, I don't remember exactly, in communism, I'm sure you know the exact quote, is she said, like, is anyone else see, like, she was like, does anyone else see this? Like, this is problematic. Like, Shirley said it in like the first 10 minutes. And you couldn't really make that joke if Chang wasn't painted black. And then obviously at the end of the episode, Pierce, of all people, calls him out for blackface. So, yeah, hate crime. So I think that was the biggest that people talk about. So that's why I think in my review I said I understand why maybe Netflix and Hulu would want to ban this episode in 2023, right? But again, if they didn't, I think it would probably be fine. And I know one person can't talk for everyone, but I know Yvette Nicole Brown a couple of weeks ago, I think, kind of petitioned for them to put it back up. So that's that section. I think the deal with Pierce in that episode, he's already established that he's an old racist man and he can't really help himself. Like, he doesn't think about it. He just says stuff that's dumb sometimes. He does stuff that is a microaggression. Like in season 1, where Shirley was sitting on the bench and there was a black woman sitting on the other bench. He sat next to the black woman thinking that was Shirley. That's a microaggression. Like, that's Pierce. We all know he is like that. And I don't think anyone really feels he will ever be redeemed. It's just like, oh, that's Pierce, you know? In this episode, Pierce, I don't know why they did this with Pierce, because we already feel that way about him. We don't need to hate him more. You know what I mean? So he was really vile, calling him fat. Like he was just like bombarding him, calling him fat, then saying that he wants to rape his Dungeons and Dragons family. Like I don't really feel that was needed. If Pierce was just the Pierce we've gotten up until that, and he was just an asshole, I think it could have worked even better. Um, the the one part that I feel like makes it better is that when shows do this and entertainment, and I made the illusion, I alluded to the WWF in the '90s with Triple H and Booker T. They had a huge angle on the show that Triple H was being really racist towards Booker T. Right? Weeks and weeks of promos leading up, I think, to WrestleMania or one of the main events, pay-per-views. And going into it, we're like, the racist is going to lose. Booker T is going to come out triumphant because that's what's supposed to happen. The shitty person, if you're going to play him as hateful or racist, the only way to redeem that storyline is for Booker T to win. And in that case, for some reason, Triple H booked Booker T to lose. So it didn't work. So here in this episode, I'm glad that Pierce lost. Like the team really, really came together and told Pierce off and put him in his place and did everything they could to back Neil in the game, which was really good. But then the sad part was it was because of Jeff that this nickname even came to be, which when I first heard it and I was like, oh, Jeff is the one that caused this, I kind of thought of Jeff the first 5 episodes of season 1, and I was like, we're not really going back to this. But I did like the fact that he immediately knew what he did was wrong and hurtful, and he tried his best to include Neil in the group, to kind of build his spirits, even though he could have just said, hey, I apologize. I was the one that coined this term. I'm sorry. How can we make it up to you? Like that would have been obviously the easy way out or the easy way to do it. But I know in terms of plot and TV shows, this was a better way to tell the story. So I'm glad that at the end, Jeff, told him like, yeah, it was me. He eventually apologized and everything was good. And then at the end, Neil is like, it's the best D&D game he ever played, and he wanted to play again with Pierce, which is fine because a person should have their own agency. It's not up to me or anyone to say, Neil, you should not have apologized. In the context of the show, it was cool. I just hope we see more of him. So that's basically my thoughts on like that portion of the episode. But all in all, if you take out things that I saw and maybe I didn't like or thought could have been, excluded, the episode was hilarious. Everything else. So let me see some of the comments. Jay, I feel why it happened, but yeah, support. But she doesn't speak for everyone's feelings, I'm sure. Pierce is such an interesting character, not all positive. Pierce, old man, flag, fly high. Jay, that joke, if that's what you want to call it, was very off-putting for sure. The R comment. Did Pierce call someone the R word? Oh, the R, sorry, I was thinking of the other one. Yeah, that actually really shocked me when he said it. I don't usually, I consider Community to be, I guess, PG. It's not rated G. I don't think it's PG-13. I think it's like a rated PG show. And I did not know you could use that word in shows like that. Chris said, you'll find out at least a little bit of why he is like this later on when they talk about Pierce's family. Well, they did do a little bit about his dad with the family business where he basically didn't like his son on camera, so he hired a kid to portray his son. So I see why Pierce would resent his dad. Yeah, it wasn't necessary, I think, because it came out of nowhere. Like there was so many other things Pierce could have said during that game to kind of get across his hatred like I kill the whole family, because the whole point of the game, he wanted to take control. He got the sword. He wanted to beat everyone. He wanted to kill everyone. He could have just been like, I kill the whole family. And I think it would have worked better. Um, but again, um, all in all, I do think the message of the episode worked. Basically, the people in the episode who should lose lost, and the people who should won. I loved how Abed was. I don't know what he's called in the game, but like the host of the game. Sorry, I don't know the terminology. He would. It felt like Daniel Putty, the person, just knew everything about the game. Like it was perfect, and I love how he created all these characters, and then he had one specifically for Troy, like best friends. Like it was the perfect ego building character. Unfortunately, everyone just took anyone, and it turned out to be Annie. Shira said the best scene I've ever watched about people putting racists in their place is in DC's Peacemaker, where Vigilante represents a person new one. I've heard a lot about Peacemaker. I haven't had a chance. I saw the pilot and I enjoyed it. I used to, I don't like saying not be a fan, because that kind of sounds like, oh, I didn't like him back then. I didn't watch a lot of John Cena movies, 5, 10 years ago, however long, but John Cena is probably, to me, the second best wrestler, actor. Dave Bautista, I think, is amazing, and John Cena is like right behind him. Like John Cena is really good. Kira said Dungeon Master. Okay, sorry. That's one game I've never played. The question that I had, because I do know one thing, is if you start a Dungeons and Dragons game, I don't know if it's called a campaign, because I heard some of them last like 20 years. Like some people play and they don't even end it. So like if you're character A and you're playing, with your friends and you're whatever level, if you now go play with this group, do you start over, or do you like bring your stats with you? I don't know how it works, but I was like, it was wild to me to know that a D&D game, I could go for as long as possible. So with that being said, I'm interested to hear all of your uh, insight on what you thought about the episode, and parts you liked and some parts maybe you didn't like. Let's see. Kira said, no, Jay, I've never played, but I've had friends get into it the last few years as we hit our 30s. That was interesting. And I remember in the episode, I think Abed was the one who said there's no board in it. But again, in another fictional show in Stranger Things, weren't the kids playing D&D, didn't they have a board? Like, can you play D&D with the board, or is it always without a board? I'm not quite sure. I need to get a silent fan. These lights are bright as hell. But no sponsor. I'm gonna have some M&Ms. You could play the game in a lot of ways. It's wide open. That's what I figured. It seems like a really interesting game, and I never really knew how it worked with the dice. Like I didn't know you just say what you want to do and then you have to roll. Oh, Jay, man, thanks for the super chat. So I'm new at live streaming with super chats, and I know I have maybe 3 or 4 people on, and I could get to everyone. But I do know as I grow, if I grow and I have 50 people in here, trust me, I understand that if you super chat me, that means I go straight to you. But I really appreciate the donation. What else? Oh, when Abed was pretending to be the troll, I think, with Britta, his acting. Oh my God. Hector the Well Endowed. that was one of the funniest parts because I love, as everyone knows, Troy and Abed. They're my favorite characters probably, and them together are my favorite. And I think they're one of the most pure and one of the most accurate portrayals of best friends on TV. That is what I would have done if my friend was playing. Like I would have wrote something like that for them, and it just makes me like relate to those two more. Oh, Annie romancing the stable maiden. Oh my God. I really enjoyed how Abed, he didn't make the game easy. Like even though he wanted Pierce to lose, he didn't cheat. He kind of did things in the characters' wheelhouses to help them. Like um he needed oh my God, I'm having a brain fart here. Jeff. Jeff needed to do something, and what was his task? He had to flirt with someone because Jeff in real life loves women and flirts a lot. So he's like, what's the easiest way for Jeff to do a thing in the game? Make him flirt with somebody. Comedy says, according to Charlie Coons, Allison did a 10-minute bit of Hector with the maiden, and it was very. Do they have that video anywhere? Is it like on YouTube or behind the scenes content? When Annie pretends to whip someone out and the binding of the Abed, please don't submit for execution. Man, it was hilarious. That would be something cool, Communies. That would be a really cool outtake if she did, like you said, improv or just 10 minutes straight. I would love to see that. Oh my God. Britta, I understand like not in real life, in show real life, they make Britta out to be like the buzzkill. So when everyone's having fun, she'll take something too seriously. And I understand that in the context of like the community real world, when they're just out and about. I was kind of sad that she was almost a buzzkill in the beginning of the game. Um, like for troll rights or ogre rights, she was like so serious. I was like, come on, Britta, you're playing a game. But what can you do? Damn, peanut butter M&Ms are good. Britta, what is it saying? Britta grabbed Shirley's sheet. Oh, that's a good one. This is why I love you guys. You all get these Easter eggs that I will never get on a first watch. That's genius. Kira said it was just so pure at the end after everyone had supported Neil. He was so sad and miserable thanks to everyday life and Pierce being a fool. Yeah, I definitely didn't expect Neil to, um, all in all, at the end, enjoy it. Like you could tell he was visibly shaken when Pierce was yelling at him. But at the end, when it was over and everyone, Pierce lost and he left, you have to believe that he genuinely had a good time or else he wouldn't have asked Pierce to play again. So, as I said, I really hope we see Neil because that kid was amazing. Like he was really good. So I hope we see Neil again. And you don't have to spoil anything really, but you could tell me, do we see Neil again? Does he become like a recurring character, a background character? Do they play D&D again? Chris said, and the fact that Jeff was responsible for the nickname. Yeah, I spoke about that a little bit earlier. I was surprised, but again, and Neil actually put it like jokingly when they were saying that, oh, you're not the only Neil here, and he's like, he's bald, and he's like, and he's like, he's black. Like, there's two Neils, one's black, one's white, and you call one of them fat Neil, like, oh man. D&D does come up again later. They will play again and with a superstar new character. Oh shoot. Here, I think I ask this question every week to you all, and it's only because I don't feel like it's progressing. I know we're getting more Senior Chang, like he's in more of the episodes, but in the first three, they were kind of almost post-credit scenes, before Troy and Abed, like that ended the episode where Chang was like going crazy, talking to himself, like Gollum and Schmeagol, that he really wanted to be in the group, but they don't do that anymore. So I hope they go back to that. But again, you all could tell me. Between seasons, his stardom grew. Are you talking about this superstar character? Or are you saying Chang gets more? He shot 2 Hangover movies while shooting Community. Chang was best as Spanish teacher. He goes more cray-cray as the season progresses. I did like him as a Spanish teacher because in that role, he I don't know if resents is the right word, but I'll use it. It might not be the right word. Like he resents the group, and as the professor, he actually holds power over them. Like I liked that dynamic of Chang because Chang is a real type of petty that I think that was something that worked for him and his character. Chang gets more. Um, I think Hangover, maybe 1 or 2, came out when Community was first starting, or was it like towards the middle? I think it was towards the beginning, right? Also, we're pretty much at the halfway point, and I don't think there's anybody um, on here for Secret Invasion, and I was kind of going to split it. But since mostly everyone in here, I think everyone in here is Team Community, I'll just keep talking about Community. And at the end, I'll just give a couple of thoughts about the Secret Invasion series and finale. Or maybe I'll just do a video for that. Community got canceled and brought back at one point. They were owned by Yahoo. That I did hear. I don't know much about it, but it does sound familiar. Kira said, I forgot Chang was in The Hangover. I just remembered him in Knocked Up as the doctor. I didn't know he had a medical degree in real life. I think until his show came out where he played a doctor. And then people were like, that's so cool because he actually is a doctor. I was like, get out of here. That's pretty cool. Oh, well, Blacklist, it was going to be at the end as well when I talked about new stuff. So we could talk about Community a little bit more. And then I'll get into that towards the end. But I really can't wait for Our Flag Means Death to come back because I get so much traction and what's the word I'm looking for? People commenting, just like Community. And it's so much fun because these are shows that I could actually do live streams and get people to come on and talk about it because the fandoms are so good and engaging. So when that comes back out, once I'm doing my weekly live streams, I think I'll have a lot more people. As much as people watch Marvel stuff, for a channel as small as mine, I don't think anyone would want to hop on to talk about Secret Invasion here because I don't think the show has a following where if it's just like a piece mixed in, but when channels are bigger and they do like the day after a breakdown of the entire episode, I think more people would want to see that. So, but I mean, Jay, since you asked, yes, I am. There's a couple of shows. With the last 30 minutes, we could just freestyle. I'll go back and forth talking community. But basically, there are 2 shows that I'm thinking of watching, and one of them might be a Patreon exclusive. Someone just joined to be a patron yesterday, and the reason they did was because of the Blacklist, right? So I did a Blacklist pilot reaction because one of my patrons who is watching pays for a tier where every month they get to tell me any show any episode, I react to it. So they chose The Blacklist and I watched it. So I might do The Blacklist as a Patreon only show, because again, I enjoyed it. I love James Spader, and right now I have a patron who I think is there for that show. So I might do that. Now the new show that I might add to Patreon and YouTube, because Secret Invasion ended, obviously. Muppets Mayhem ended, so two of my shows are gone. My Friday show is What We Do in the Shadows. There's only 7 episodes left, so there's 7 weeks left. So eventually my Fridays are going to be gone. So I might start Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm definitely going to react to the pilot. I already have it downloaded. I'm going to watch it. And I think a lot of people watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine reaction. So I'm going to try that one. Really, season 3 is a strong season with the ramping up build to the season's crazy moments as it progresses. And Burn Notice and White Collar, you've also watched their pilots but didn't like. Burn Notice, I think it's what's the word I'm looking for? If I would have watched it back then, I think I would have continued. I don't think it's something to me that holds up like 10 years later. It was good. It just didn't like pull me in. White Collar, on the other hand, gun to my head, I would watch that if I had time. I really did enjoy the White Collar one. I liked it because it was kind of silly actually. Like it was funny, it was a good show, and I enjoyed the silly dynamic between the two main characters. And Jay, I always forget because you use like a different screen name and handle on every, like on here and on Discord. I always forget you're you. Shira said Brooklyn Nine-Nine rules. Well, I guess that means I'll get at least one view, huh? Crispy said Jake Peralta and Amy Santiago, my power couple. I love them equally. I guess that's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, correct? I was also thinking of Angie Tribeca, but I have a full-time job, you guys. It's hard to do videos and edit them. So if at any point I get enough subs to not have to work, then maybe I'll be putting out content like Blind Wave, like 30 shows a week. But as of now, Jay said, it's one of those shows that the pilot and the first season isn't the same as the rest of the show. Brooklyn Nine-Nine really is a bit more different once they hit season 2 and they updated some characters. That I totally understand. There's a few shows that I know, and one is Parks and Rec, where to me, it's one of my favorite series of all time, but season 1 is not that good to me. I mean, it's good, but season 2 to the end, to me, in Parks and Rec are great. And I think it's because they did tweak some characters, especially Leslie Knope. That was a show, I've watched the series 3 times, and I was going to watch it a 4th time. I did reactions, so I think 3 episodes, and no one watched them, so I stopped. It's really good. You won't regret the stable characters and 8 seasons. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's another one that got canceled, right, and then picked back up. And I think I looked through the cast list, and I saw they have a good amount of like cameos in that, right? Or maybe that was Angie Tribeca. Kira said you'll enjoy Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I could imagine how rough balancing a real job in YouTube is. Hopefully YouTube doesn't go the way of Twitter. I mean X. YouTube, I don't think is going anywhere. I was just talking about this. Well, basically it was just a sentence that I said. I still can't believe YouTube is like technically free. I know they get your information, they sell ads, so they make money. But like when you really think about it, you could start a freaking TV channel literally on YouTube and not really have to pay anything. You get unlimited storage, you could upload whatever you want. I mean, there are rules, but It's amazing. Terry Crews is no joke. He wanted to make the character a character against toxic masculinity. Terry Crews is a really good actor. The one that stands out to me, obviously, is White Chicks and The Longest Yard. Oh, he was hilarious in those. His character in Captain Holt and Rose are awesome characters. I'm also trying to pick shows that are diverse, meaning not shows that are just all white casts, all straight casts, because I want to watch things that typically, you're usually drawn to watching shows that people look like you for the most part. Um, so I'm trying to be conscious. So, like, Our Flag Means Death, I really didn't know much, and I know most of the characters are white, but Tyke is not, and it has a huge LGBTQ cast. So it is a diverse show. Community is very diverse. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is diverse. What We Do in the Shadows, um, not so much. It only has one woman in it. I think that's why they have Kristen Shaw, or else Naja would be talking to men all day. So, but it's just hilarious. What else did I do? Muppets Mayhem. I mean, besides the Muppets, the characters were diverse. Like I'm just trying to, I don't know. When you start watching shows like that and you get out of your shell, you just see there's a lot more to entertainment. Chris B said Brooklyn Nine-Nine kind of gives me the same energy of Parks and Rec, and the cameos in the show are amazing. All right, so maybe I did look at the cameo list. I think I'm gonna try to watch it. Let's see. Tomorrow's Friday, so what we do in the shadows is in the morning. Maybe I'll watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine tomorrow night or Saturday morning, because I also need to watch the 2003, the original Mummy with Brandon Fraser. That I'm watching for my August first time watching. So that'll be on Patreon, the full reaction August 1st. And then like 2 weeks into August, I'll have it on YouTube. Jay said they really spend time building the characters. Unlike half of the fly-by-night TV shows, character development is really damn good. Yeah, that's one thing. TV shows could be, they could be funny, they could be enjoyable, but if the characters don't really grow, it gets boring. Chris said, "Have I ever seen the short-lived musical series Gallivant?" I have not, but I've definitely heard about it. Who was the lead in Gallivant? I could check now. I have my browser up. I'm sweating like an animal. Timothy Amundsen, Joshua Sassy, Mallory Jansen. I know her from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ben Presley, Karen David. I don't. She's the only one that I recognize. The Mummy is good. Gotta love Brendan Fraser. The young him. Yeah. I don't like feeling bad for millionaires, but I do feel bad for him because whatever happened that happened where he was blackballed is a shame. Because Brendan Fraser could have been like huge. He could have been, as far as type of movies, he could have been Tom Cruise, I think. He was athletic build, great actor when he was young, but I'm not in the business, so I can't speak on it. Chris said Joshua Sassy. Yeah, I don't. Let me click on his picture. He's 35 years old. He was in Gallivant, Her Pen Pal, No Tomorrow, Frankenstein's Army. I kind of embarrass myself sometimes because I'll be like, I've never heard of this person, and then I read off a list of the shows that they're in, and I've never heard of them, but it's probably because I mostly watch shit movies, probably. Damn, I'm missing. Where is the thing? Oh, here it is. I wonder what the whole story is. He was a Ryan Reynolds type. He too appeared in Scrubs. Oh, I used to watch Scrubs. That show was hilarious. I don't think anyone could say that show wasn't funny. But I really can't wait to watch The Mummy. I have a few things on my list I could tell you all if I could find it. Every month, like when I drop The Mummy, I'm gonna put another poll up for like September. So the ones that I have on my list, and I'm gonna add to this list as I go. So The Mummy won, so that left 4 movies. So in August, I'll put a poll saying what should I watch for September, and it's between the first Tomb Raider, the first Mission Impossible, the Birdcage, and the original Transformers the movie. So we'll see which one wins for September. What time is it? 6:42. So here is my question to everyone out there who might be more versed in YouTube because maybe you follow a bunch of channels and you see what they put out and what they say they can or can't do, things that get banned. So what I want to do, and in my mind, I think I probably can't because it might be considered an audiobook. I want to do videos where I read from the Infinity Gauntlet comic, and maybe I'll do like 5 to 10 minute videos where I just like sit by the fireplace and read for like 10 minutes. I don't know if I'd be allowed to do that, but I want to do that because I haven't read this. I bought this a while ago. I still haven't read it. Doo-doo. Chris said, "You're right. Brendan Fraser was good in those Scrubs appearances. He's just good in general. Obviously, wouldn't be a problem on Patreon, and I've seen some streamers do something similar. Because, oh yeah, public book readings are allowed. I probably maybe wouldn't be able to monetize it. Well, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is I get a real strike. But I feel like maybe they would just tell me to take it down. Hopefully, I don't get banned before I actually start getting subs. I just think it would be fun. Promote reading. Can't penalize people for reading. Okay. What other shows did I have? Oh, somebody sent me a message on Twitter yesterday. I had a whole bunch of shows. I did a screenshot. So I'm going to cut off the person's name. So I'm going to read out what they messaged me. I haven't even read this yet. Jay said, how many book authors are checking YouTube for copyright? Usually it's films, video games, music rights. That's true. And it's so much easier to find that because they probably have algorithms that pick it out. So, I mean, it doesn't hurt. So this is what we have. Ted Lasso. I did a couple, no one watched it, so I stopped. And actually, I kind of got tired of it. And that doesn't mean that I don't think it was still good. You know, sometimes you just get over shows. Last of Us, Firefly, Serenity, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek New Trilogy, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Spider-Man, Raimi Trilogy, Dark Knight Trilogy, Gravity Falls, Psych, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. All right, well, I'm doing that one. Samurai Jack, Galaxy Quest, Independence Day, The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride I've seen already. I wish I hadn't because that would have been a dope first time watching. Remember the Titans, Indiana Jones Trilogy, Jurassic Park, Italian Job, Truman Show, A Few Good Men, Sixth Sense, Apollo 13, Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, Baby Driver, How to Train Your Dragon Trilogy, Kung Fu Panda Trilogy. I've never watched either of those. Into the Spider-Verse, Arrival, Dune Part 1. Dune Part 1, I do have to watch again because the first time I watched it was on an airplane, and that was terrible. Inception, Prestige, The Martian, Lego movies. Lego movies were so good. Jim Carrey comedies, Megamind, New Planet of the Apes, Groundhog Day, The Fugitive, Creed Trilogy, Knives Out, Glass Onion, Jojo Rabbit. I watched all of those. Mission Impossible movies. I'm doing the first one eventually. The Mitchells versus the Machines, Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. So there's a lot there. I've watched a lot of it, so I guess I could pick off of that. But like I said, I have a couple. If I do Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and again, absolutely nobody watches it, then I'll stop. Shira said, Firefly Serenity is an easy view. One season in a movie. If you told me I'd love a Western sci-fi series, I'd laugh in your face. Oh, Firefly was the show and Serenity was the movie, or was it the other way? If it's one season in a movie, then maybe that's something I could do like in the summer or something. Because I know well, I think Our Flag Means Death's not coming out till October, so Galaxy Quest is Tim Allen. Oh, yeah, and Sigourney Weaver, right? And aliens didn't understand how to show and beam them up to help. They're hilarious. I got it in the right order. Cool. Maybe I'll check that one out. I kind of like shortened stuff. But I also enjoy that Community is going to last me another year. I think I have like 70 more episodes, so I have, hopefully by the time the movie comes out, I'm done. Shira said Galaxy Quest is perfection. Reminds me, the Orville, that's one that I want to check out the pilot too. It makes me sad because Adrian Palicki, Adrian, right? Adria? You know who I'm talking about. I'm so mad that they took her off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to give her and that other guy a spinoff, and then they never gave it to them. It was so good. Such a good Mockingbird. Abed talks about the unjust cancellation of Firefly. I'm sure he does. God, I love Abed. I can admit, right as of now, Community is the only thing that I have watched with Daniel Putty in it. Is Abed Daniel, like, is that his personality in real life? I don't know. I guess that's the question I'm asking. He does such a good job as Abed that it doesn't even look like he's acting. It's just so good. All right, everyone says that the Orville is a solid show, so yeah, I'll check it out. Why not? What happened? Oh, it's Pooty? I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. Oh, Putty is the guy from freaking Seinfeld. Daniel Pooty. No, Danny doesn't have the pop culture chops. Now I have to apologize to him. I've been saying his name wrong forever. Adrian Palicki, so gorgeous. She dressed up as David Bowie for one Halloween. I have to look that up. Daniel Pooty. I figured it was that. Man. What else do I got? I think that's all I really had. Talking about the show, talking about some new shows, and then just, let whoever hopped on know that My plan is to do the blacklist for Patreon right now only, and then hopefully start Brooklyn Nine-Nine this weekend. So meaning when I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Saturday, the Patreon version will go up sometime next week, maybe on Saturday. Usually the Patreon version of my shows, they'll go up at least a week before YouTube. And I usually post them the day that I record and edit it. And then the following week, Brooklyn Nine-Nine will show up on YouTube. Jay said there's a YouTube table read of a future episode. They did it during COVID for a fundraiser, minus Pearson's. Yeah. Oh, I think I have that saved. I always see that table reading on my YouTube, but I never watch it because I don't want to be spoiled. But if you're saying it's a table read of a future episode that never aired, then technically it's not a spoiler, so maybe I should watch it. Oh, it's season 4. I mean, what's one episode? Oh, it did air. It did air in season 5. Oh, maybe I'll watch it anyway. We'll see. Unless it spoils like a humongous arc, but to be honest, I guarantee you I'll be on season 5 next year. I'll probably totally forget about it. Oh, Community says don't. All right, then I won't. If you tell me what episode if you tell me what episode it is, then maybe after I react and watch that episode, then I'll watch the table read. Jay said the guy who sang the theme song is also there to do it live acoustically. You won't forget about it, I'm sure, Hunch. Oh, God. If I would have never started this YouTube thing, I 100% would be done with Community by now. I probably would have binge watched it, I would say maybe 3 weeks. Definitely. I probably would be on my second watch at least because I've been watching it. What was it? 24 episodes, season 1, 15 so far. So that's 24, that's 40 weeks. I've been already watching it for almost a year. So yeah, I would have watched it numerous times. All right, season 5, episode 4. Let's see what it's called. I'm not going to read the synopsis. I just want to see what it's called. Community episode list. Season 5, episode 4 is called Cooperative. Cooperative. Is it polygraphy or polygraphy? I think it's polygraphy. I'm not smart. Ow, hit my knee. You could binge watch it and oh my God. What if I take off from work for a week and I live stream, what's 24 times 7? I don't know, how many hours in a week? I just live stream the entire series. It's the name for polygraph. Oh, cooperative polygraphy. Okay. That makes sense. Get a hotel at the Hilton suite and order rooms. That would be crazy. I would set up my camera like from far away so you could see me maybe at a desk in a hotel room, my room service, watching it. I'll bring my own TV. That would be crazy. I would be exhausted. People really do like 24-hour live streams for charity. Like I've been on for an hour. I'm tired. Maybe it doesn't help that I had a beer, but oh man. Oh, well, we have 5 minutes left. Jay said there's actually a house episode where he basically, or actually several episodes where he's living out of a hotel. Beer is delish. This is yeah, these are good. For some reason, my camera is not focusing on stuff that I put near it. I don't know why. Anyway, Kira, yes, booze makes folks sleepy. It does. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. What do you got for me? Any questions? Any thoughts on, say, what's coming next on community? Um, so, Monday coming up, I've already watched episode 15. So, that'll be posting this coming Monday. So, community episode list again. Sorry. Next week, early 21st century romanticism will be posting. And then after that is intermediate documentary filmmaking. So, what do I have to look forward to in the next couple of episodes? Jay said, my better half have to have multiple drinks or she'll fall asleep, so she hardly ever drinks. Yeah, I get really sleepy. Community's romanticism. Yep, that's the next one. That's why people invented vodka and Red Bull. Oh my God. Handheld cameras in IDF. Oh, intermediate documentary filmmaking. That reminds me, in season one, Abed wanted to be a filmmaker. Obviously, he did that short about the gang being his family and then showed it to his dad. But then after that, we never really heard of him doing anything like that again. So is that episode Abed with the camera? Do we see Abed shoot more little movies again? Oh my God, that's going to be hilarious. A community episode like Parks and Rec. That's another reason why I love this show. And 3 minutes left. I can't go too far into it. I love how they're just non-conventional. They think outside the box and they try things. Like the claymation Christmas episode. I mean, I would never get tired of holiday episodes. I love them. But when things are repetitive, like you could just do the same thing over and over and over. But they never do that. It's always original. Um, Jay said, I think he actually does a project coming up. Shearer said, yeah, Abed's film career comes back in some big ways. I'm happy to hear that. Karina says, where's the kind assassin? The kind assassin is somewhere over there. Probably, I don't know, maybe doing some work, maybe assassinating some people in Assassin's Creed. I don't know. Oh man, this is fun. I think I've had 6 concurrent viewers, which I'm fine with because you all, the people who have joined, you talk. So, but the one thing I wanted to send out is my, what is this called? My Discord link. So I'm trying to build out a Discord for people, not just for community, but for everything. So let me just copy this. And if you're on here, you want to join, it's free and really building it out. Maybe next week, Kind Assassin will be here. I mean, I'm pretty obsessed about the show too. The funny thing is, the Kind Assassin is very shy, does like TV. She's the one who got me into What We Do in the Shadows, the show. Right before season 4, I binged all 3 and then we watched season 4 together. Um, I would have never guessed that she would want to actually do reaction videos. So she's doing What We Do in the Shadows with me every Friday, but she also watched a show called No Filter, called Sem Filtro on Netflix, and she actually did a review for that. That's on the page if you want to see it. I'm not even in that video. She's like the Harry Potter's room of requirements. She only materializes when. No, you're absolutely right. Because the other day I said she should do a video for something, and she's like, no. They definitely are fun, Kira. And the really cool, fun thing is I'm sure every one of you know who Late to the Party is. Another couple, they actually somehow found my videos, followed me on Twitter, followed me on YouTube, and they actually have reached out and they're really supportive. And that means a lot because they're a really big channel. And I've watched them and I still watch them to this day. But 7 o'clock, I have things I need to do around the house. Got to get ready for tomorrow, obviously, for work. I just want to thank everyone for hopping on. I really do want to do this every week because it's fun and I enjoy talking about this show with everyone here and in the comments. I get so many comments and you all teach me so much. So I do want to do this every week. And as long as I could get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people on here to talk, then it's worthwhile to me because I don't need 1,000 people in here. I mean, if that ever happens, hooray for me. But the more people in here that actually contribute and talk and really love this show would mean a lot to me. So I want to thank everyone for hopping on. I'll see you all on Twitter, obviously, and talk to you in the comment sections of the videos and wherever. And if you don't yet follow me on Twitter, my handle is Sanctum, obviously. And then I'm testing out some other things like Hive. I'm on there. I don't see too many people there. I'm on Threads. Pretty cool. Check me out there. So thanks again, everyone. Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. If I don't, enjoy your weekend. Yeah, that's about it. Just got to find this thing so I do not mess it up. All right. Thanks again, everyone. See you next time. Later.